Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunstampin.com for more information. So this is the Paper Pumpkin alternative video for the March 2019 kit entitled Poppin' Birthday. So this is the kit. It is Stampin' Up's 6th birthday in doing Paper Pumpkin. I should say it's Paper Pumpkin's 6th birthday, to be honest. And we were given a free stamp set. So this is the stamp set that came in the kit that is normally would go with the kit. And then this was the big stamp set that came, a full-size stamp set that came. And I just absolutely love this stamp set. And the ink is Poppy Parade. Now, I'm going to go in and show you all that came in the kit and what it was supposed to look like. It's supposed to have like a birthday theme on the outside, and you open it up and there's like presents or cake popping forward on the card. And I think it's a really cute idea. We got a whole bunch of adhesives and then a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, I'm going to put an exclaimer here and talk a little bit about why this video is so late. First of all, I wasn't actually even going to do this video because I didn't have any stills. When I was doing my alternatives here, first of all, I had a hard time coming up with them. And secondly, when I was finished, I didn't have enough time. I was able to create them, but then I didn't have enough time to edit the video. And, you know, editing it takes longer than creating, that's for sure. And then after you finished all this work, I put the cards aside and I was working on another project, and one of the kitties came along and knocked over a pop that I had and spilled all over the photos. So I am giving you advance notice that there are no still pictures in this video, and I apologize for that. And seriously, my favorite card was ruined, and I was just really disheartened when that happens, right? Like, all that work. So I almost didn't get this this video made, but then I thought, it's not your fault. You shouldn't be punished. So here I am making and it's a week late, and I know that, and I apologize. I just haven't had the time to get going. Anyway, you don't want to hear my excuses. You want to hear me describe what's going on in this card. So this was the die cuts that all the numbers came from. So we got this, the stamp set that does the numbers, but we also got this cutout, and you could, you know, choose the number that you wanted to put on your birthday card. So that's really nice. And I'm using this, I punched all the cutouts out. And so this is the negative piece. So I'm using my dauber and my large size Poppy Parade ink. And the thing is that I'm getting a little lazy, and I'm only trusting myself just with one of the Post-it notes, because I felt I was accurate enough that I wasn't going to hurt. So that's the finished product. This is a Whisper White piece of card that I was using. And then I have taken apart the envelope, and like I usually do, right? Try to use everything in the kit. This card wasn't hard to create with. There was just, I know I try to limit myself to the products that are actually in the kit and try not to stray too far from the kit products. So, because when I do that, I always inevitably get like a whole bunch of dislikes, and everybody hates me for doing it. So I try to stick within the kit contents. So this kit was pretty hard for me to come up with alternatives. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But I had a hard time with it. So here's pretty much my first card. I have a little strip here of Whisper White, and I'm going to put the happy birthday. So I'm inking up kind of half of the birthday full strength and then daubing on the soft part of the birthday. So it almost looks two-toned. So that's a little neat tip for you to try to duplicate. It's easier probably with a ink spot. So these, you were given sort of a banner thing and it's got a scalloped edge to it. And I thought it would work out perfectly for the bottom of my sentiment pieces. I love that you got this tear and tape for the kit this time around. So you're experiencing the tear and tape that we actually sell in the catalog, and it's a really strong adhesive, and I'm glad they included that. It was nice. So I'm just putting the happy birthday to my scalloped piece here and using that special adhesive called tear tape. And I thought it just made the sentiment stand out and from the falling numbers there. So I'm trying to, this is like an all age, for me anyway, this is kind of like an all age birthday card. And, you know, I definitely got a kid feel to it for sure. But, you know, it's not too specific. And I think that's what sells for me the best anyway, is when you have a birthday card that can be given to anybody at any age. And now I'm taking out some pearls. We sell these in the catalog. And I'm also taking my Poppy Parade Blends alcohol marker, and I have colored the pearls to match the colors. And I'm just putting them on the card. Now, we were not given any pearls this time. No embellishments, really. So I apologize again for not having a proper still photo, but I am going to try to give you a close-up of this. That's the best I can do. I'm so sorry. Okay, card number 2. So this one was so good and it's got so ruined. Okay. This was a card base that was in the kit. And I punched out those numbers like I said, but I have no other use for them other than to stick them together. So now it's making sort of a chipboard feel to the numbers. So I did that on all the numbers. I glued them together and then I put dimensional adhesive on the back. And then I have my card base here and I am trimming it down so that I can put this on a regular white card base. So that gives me a little bit more product to work with when I'm creating alternatives. And I always say, if you ever want to duplicate my cards for the alternative video, you go buy yourself a pack of Whisper White thick cardstock. It's not the thin weight stuff, it is the thick stuff. Okay, and so now I'm just adding, you know, sort of grown-up years. It's kind of the same idea as the first one with the daubers, except I'm, you know, making it obviously for more of an adult. And then I'm adding the little hats, party hats that came in the kit. So cute. And then I went, and then I stamped the happy birthday in a banner. That's what got ruined so badly. It got all wet and it leaked all over that card. It was a bad scene. I thank goodness my computer isn't actually on my desk. It's to the bookshelf because it was a full glass of pop. And the kitties are really scaredy cats. Like, I've never had kitties like this before where they're scaredy cat and they just heard a noise and that's it. They tore off. But they tore off and, you know, pushed something and something spilled and it was bad news. Anyway, I won't go on about it. It really devastated me because I ruined all these cards. The only thing that I have is this video. Okay, so this is my fine tip glue pen. This was the piece de resistance. I loved it. I coded every number here. So I put on the clear wink of Stella and went over those numbers. And then I went over with my, look at the shine, right? So it became a glaze. So I had to put this card aside and let it dry. But oh man, did that ever turn out amazing. I loved it. I could probably duplicate this card again, but the moment's gone. Okay, card number 3. This was fun. And this one got completely ruined too. Okay, I need to get over that. Okay, so here is that extra piece of stripy paper. And I'm trimming it down with my trimmer. And then I have this spotty card that it was a card base, and I think I cut it in half. So I'm cutting it down to, I think, about 1.5 inches and then 1 inch. And then I'm making a cake. So I'm just sort of making the top tier just a little smaller than the bottom tier. Now here I'm coming in with some contraband, and I'm rounding the corners. You can do this with scissors, or if you have a envelope punch board, it also has a corner rounder. That's the one thing that we're missing in our Stampin' Up! Repertoire punches repertoire. We don't really have a corner rounder. So I wanted to make the cake rounded. And then this is a little bit of glimmer paper that I had in my stash. I'm pretty sure that everybody has something similar in their stash, maybe even fancy washi tape or whatever. And now I'm making sort of like a little platform, and it's just a rectangle, and then I take the edges off. And then I'm just using my glue. It's a little bit easier for me to use glue because now I can adhere this silver piece, which is basically the cake stand. I didn't have to do that. That was optional, by the way. And adhered the cake stand to the bottom of the cake. So here's my Whisper White Thick card base. I'm adhering the card front, which is the stripy card base from the previous card left over. And then this is the stamp that makes it look like confetti. You should have seen this when this got wet. It was just it looked like a Dexter had been in there. My whole card was decidedly ruined with red. It was horrible. Okay, moving on. Okay, so then I did adhere down the cake with dimensionals, and then I cut away. So we were given these candles, right? And they're supposed to go on the inside of the card as the pop-up cake. And so here I am cutting those candles away. And then I just found it easier to, because I needed the pointy end and the flat end of my Take Your Pick tool. So eventually I get smart and take that whole piece off and then just use the pokey part to remove the release paper from the sticky part of the candle. And then I can use the flat part and stick it up underneath the cake. And it would probably been smarter for me actually to put all these candles on before I did it, but for some reason I wanted to do it this way. And I actually should have made the stamped card, or like that stamped image of the confetti and everything. I should have placed it a little higher because you can't see the third stamping, but that's okay. I just put a lot of candles on that cake. So that was the whole point of this cake, that it was, you know, somebody for, you know, more than 40. Anyway, and here is the card. And again, I have no stills, so I'm just going to move in a little closer so you can see a little bit of the detail of the card and see how fun that was. I love the glitter icing there. Cute. Okay, so this is card number 4, and I made 2 cards. So this is what the present looked like on the inside of the card. So it is already sort of cut down to size, so I didn't have to cut it down too much. And that is the cake one. All right, so now here's this spotty card base that I have here. And then I'm also going to have a pink spotty card base. So basically I'm making 2 cards very similar. So alternatively, you can choose if you want the blue or the pink confetti. And then here I'm just adhering the spotty, I guess this is the card front, to the card base. And like I said, I'm doing 2 cards. So one is going to be pink and the second one is going to be blue. Now I went edge to edge with this blue one, and I let a little bit of a rim around the pink one. I don't know why I did that, just for mixing it up, walking on the edge, you know. All right, so now I just put this right to the edge, and that was the cake. So now I'm going to choose the presents, and I'm going to do those right to the edge. I think I just maybe make this a little bit smaller. It seems like I'm doing that for, you know, a border. And again, most of the time when I don't do measurements on my alternative videos, just because I figure that this is just a jumping off point, give you some ideas of what you can do with your kit if you didn't like your kit. And you might not like these alternatives. It's totally fine. Everyone has their own preference, right? So here is, and again, you know, I probably should have put the candles in there before I adhered the paper down to the card base. But you know, I do everything difficultly, and so you don't have to make the same mistakes. It worked out fine. Okay, and so now I'm putting the bows down. So this is where those cute bows came in. And I didn't floof them up at all. They're not made of paper that can be floofed up very well. All right, so this is just an extra piece of Whisper White, and the sentiment says, "Today we celebrate you," and I'm stamping it twice for my 2 cards. And, you know, just because there's a bit of a blue background does not mean that it couldn't be a boy or a girl. It could be for anybody. And I'm using the extra piece of the envelope here and just eyeballing it and giving the sentiment just a little bit of a border. And I did the same with the blue. Now I've put dimensionals on the back. And again, I have room for that sentiment. Like I said, this isn't my most favorite design, but it is what I had to work with. And not bad. It's cute. And again, I don't have any stills. So again, here I am just closing in a little bit so that you can see what I have done. So I think this was my least favorite. But number 5 is probably my most favorite. And it's because I'm using the candle stamp. So initially I start off with, and I think that's Daffodil Delight. And I stamp down, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to make these crooked. So I'm trying my best to line them up, but I'm going to bring in a ruler here. I'm going to draw a line. And then I can stamp every 1/4 of an inch with yellow, or 1/2 an inch, I guess, with my Daffodil Delight. And then I'm just doing the corner, or doing the candle with, I think that's Bermuda Bay. And then I use my dauber to make the flame. Does that make sense? So the flame is still yellow. And then I go in with this is Flirty Flamingo. I quite like Flirty Flamingo, FYI. And then I sort of went, okay, so I'm only going to put a couple of flirties because the last ones are going to be the Poppy Parade. And yes, that was my chamois. In case you saw that, it was a little breeze of me cleaning off the stamp each time. And this card got completely saturated. There was no saving it. It was like a soggy, wet paper towel. It was my favorite design too. Oh well. So what I ended up doing here was cutting off a whole bunch of flames from the leftover candles. And then using my wet glue, I went in and put a little daub. And then using my paper pierce, or my take your pick tool, the gummy part, picked up a flame and then used my pokey tool to hold it down. And there is the card, pretty much the design. So I trimmed off the excess little flame that was left over. I love this. And then with a little strip of Whisper White, that's about 1/2 inch, I stamped Happy Birthday, Full Strength, and Poppy Parade. And then trimmed the Happy Birthday strip down, put dimensional adhesive on the back, and placed that along the candles. And of course, at some point, I had erased the pencil line, just so you know it might have been taken out of the video. I might not have included that in the footage. Anyway, that was my very last card. So again, I apologize for this being late. I apologize for dawdling a little bit with it. And like I said, I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to share it with you all. But accidents happen. Thanks for your patience, and I will see you again next time. Bye! Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.